This webinar will provide an overview of the New York State Department of Labor programs that are part of the statewide Consolidated Funding Application Workforce Development Initiative, or CFA WDI. There are several state agencies and authorities participating in the CFA WDI, including the New York State Department of Labor, or NYSDOL, the State University of New York, SUNY, the City University of New York, CUNY, and Empire State Development, or ESD. Between all agencies and authorities participating in the WDI, a total of $175 million is available. I'll specifically discuss two CFA WDI programs offered by NYSDOL. NYSDOL is offering two parallel funding opportunities totaling up to $25 million, with the funding awarded on a first-come, first-served basis. There is the existing Employee Training, or EET program, and the Unemployed, Underemployed Worker Training, or UWT program. I'll dive deeper into both of these in a few minutes. Each NYSDOL program intends to upgrade the occupational skills of eligible trainees. Occupational skills training is defined as up to 1 year of instruction in a classroom setting designed to provide participants with the skills required to be proficient in a specific job needed by the applicant. NYSDOL previously participated in rounds 1 through 8 of the traditional CFA, where solicitations were released in early May and the proposal period ended in late July. These solicitations were always issued as requests for proposals, or RFPs. Because NYSDOL CFA WDI programs are continuous until funding is exhausted, the NYSDOL solicitations for the CFA WDI are issued as requests for applications, or RFAs. Through RFAs, the solicitations are non-competitive, meaning applications are not scored against one another and are accepted on an ongoing basis. Next, I'll discuss the specifics of NYSDOL's programs. The first program is the EET program. Under this program, funding is being made available to provide occupational skills training courses for existing employees currently employed in low or middle skills occupations. Low skills occupations require some, little, or no preparation, and typically a high school education or less. Middle skills occupations typically require more than a high school education, including training in vocational schools, related on-the-job experience, or an associate's degree, but less than a bachelor's degree. EET awards may not exceed $100,000 for applicants with 2 to 50 employees, $200,000 for applicants with 51 to 100 employees, or $300,000 for applicants with 101 or more employees. Eligible applicants for the EET program must have 2 or more employees and be a for-profit entity or a private sector not-for-profit entity, which is a traditional 501c3. Eligible trainees under the EET program are full-time, meaning they work 35 or more hours per week, or part-time existing employees in low or middle skills occupations who will enter or remain in middle skills occupations at the conclusion of the training program. Applicants for EET funding are required to provide leveraged funding to pay a portion of the costs of the training program. The applicant must contribute at least 10% for applicants with 50 or fewer employees, 25% for applicants with 51 to 100 employees, or 50% for applicants with 101 or more employees. The second program is the Unemployed, Underemployed Worker Training, or UWT program. Funding under this program is available to provide occupational skills training to unemployed and underemployed workers to qualify them for full-time or part-time employment or a higher level of employment. Funding for UWT may include career development services, which teach job search and attainment skills, career awareness, exploration, and enhancement skills, and work readiness, employability, and job retention skills. Applicants may receive up to $250,000 in UWT funding. Under the UWT program, eligible applicants must have 2 or more employees and be for-profit or not-for-profit entities, municipalities, or educational institutions, including colleges and universities. Eligible trainees are unemployed and underemployed workers. Regarding priority populations, the UWT program awards extra points to applicants who plan to serve priority populations as defined by the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act, or WIOA. These populations include displaced homemakers, low-income individuals, individuals with disabilities, including youth with disabilities, older individuals, individuals currently or formerly involved in the criminal justice system, homeless individuals, including homeless youth, youth who are in or have aged out of the foster care system, individuals with low levels of literacy, English language learners, individuals facing substantial cultural barriers, Native Americans, migrant and seasonal farm workers, individuals within 2 years of exhausting lifetime temporary assistance for needy families or TANF benefits, the long-term unemployed, and single parents, including single pregnant women. In addition to the WIOA populations, for the CFA WDI, NYSDL also considers veterans and TANF and Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP, recipients as priority populations. Next, we'll discuss the review process. The Grants Gateway is New York State's standardized statewide grant contracting system. Although CFA applications are submitted through a separate CFA portal, all CFA applicants must be registered in Grants Gateway in order to enter into a contract with New York State. Not-for-profit entities must take the extra step of pre-qualifying by completing a basic profile and storing organizational documents. They must also ensure these documents are up to date. Additional information on Grants Gateway can be found at the links provided on the screen. Applications will go through a review process prior to award. Applications submitted for the EET and UWT programs will be reviewed by NYSDL staff and the applicable Regional Economic Development Council, or REDC, at the same time. If approved to move forward by both entities, the application will be discussed among staff from the 5 participating CFA WDI state agencies and authorities for final award approval. For NYSDL's review of EET and UWT applications, 2 categories of points are awarded. There's the program or technical score, which is worth 80 points, and the cost review, which is worth 20 points. Between the 2 categories, an applicant must receive a total of 70 points to be awarded. Eligible applicants who do not receive a minimum score of 70 will be notified and are eligible to revise those portions of the application they lost points on. If they resubmit the application, they can still be awarded if sufficient time and funding remain. No points will be awarded by the REDCs for the WDI. And lastly, there's some resources available for the WDI. General information related to the program, including additional information on program guidelines for each of the participating agencies and authorities, and the link to apply to any of the programs, can be found at ny.gov/workforce development. The RFAs for NYSDL's programs, the comparison chart of programs, a question and answer document, and a link to this recorded webinar, as well as one for all of the WDI programs, can be found on NYSDL's Funding Opportunities webpage. And lastly, any questions related to NYSDL's programs should be submitted to cfa@labor.ny.gov.